Hi guys, welcome to Let's Talk BD, the official podcast of the BD School, the first educational platform entirely dedicated to business development. Here we interview business development professionals working in the field every day, as well as startup founders, so they can give you all the insights, tips, and best practices to help you become a better business development professional. Let's get ready for the next episode. I'm Lucia and I'm your host, and today with me there is Martina, one of our former students and business developer from Italy. Hi Martina.
Hi Lucia and hi everyone. Thank you for having me today.
That's totally our pleasure. And today with you, we're going to talk about creativity in BD because, well, we know that you tried some very cool stuff. So we want to inspire other business developers to use creativity in their work so they can like it more, but also get more results. But of course, before we get into that, let's make sure that they get to know you. So maybe you can tell us more about your career path so far.
Yes, of course. So first of all, I'm a business developer in the tech field. What does it mean? This means that I'm working with companies that project and develop digital products. We don't have any product that is already ready, but we realize everything custom for the clients. In this period particularly, this is super challenging because of the pandemic. Not so many companies want or have the possibilities to invest in research and development. So that's why I had to be very creative trying to solve some problems or trying to find new leads and prospects. That's it. This is what I'm doing every day. But actually, I started my business development career in the startup environment. And actually, in the beginning, I didn't really knew what does it mean to be a business developer. It was my job description, but actually, I didn't know what it did mean. But I really loved it because I had the chance to did a lot of different things, working with different teams. So since the beginning of my career, I've always worked with marketing, production team, sales department. So it was extremely interesting for me because it gave me the chance to discover what's going on inside the company, inside the startup. So if you are a business developer, you can learn a lot from different teams in the company. And that's the most interesting part of the job, I guess. I never get bored of doing something in my daily routine because actually I don't have one.
Yeah, to start with, indeed. I think all business developers listening will feel exactly the same. I see them nodding like, yeah, that's me.
But
totally.
Actually, finally, last year when I attended the course, I understood what being a business developer really means. So I was able to define my own method or different methods that I can approach and use depending by different needs of the company I'm working for.
Awesome. And well, you just mentioned that you did an experience abroad where you started working at startups. Can you tell us more about that? Where was it actually? And what was the startup about?
So actually, I had two different experiences in two different startups. My first experience was in Paris, and the startup is called Holidog. So basically, a platform for pet owners who needs a pet sitter. Actually, the startup just launched the Italian market. So for the 6 months of my experience, I tried to do a lot of things, try to find new clients and customers, but also pet sitter, because it's a marketplace. This means that you have to find the pet sitter, but also the final clients. And this is much more challenging.
It is. Although also one of my favorite business models, I have to say, I really love the marketplace. Because exactly for this reason, like it brings value on so many different levels and to so many different people. I think that's what I like the most. But go ahead.
No, but
Sorry.
yeah, it was really challenging actually. But actually, my second experience in the startup world was a little bit different because I moved to Milan, working for a female community of women that love to travel. But I was responsible for an e-commerce project. So basically, we launched this project about Pink Trotters boxes, so the subscription boxes. It was 5 years ago, and this kind of business model wasn't really known in Italy. Mm-hmm. Even now, 5 years later, it's a bit difficult to find client or someone that knows this kind of business model. So I was responsible for all the projects, and I had to find every month at least 5 brands that wanted to give us their products. So it was really challenging because it's not easy with a small community. It was 10,000 of female, but it's kind of small community. It was really challenging to let understand that the companies the value of doing this kind of partnership.
That's so cool. And I know that you do love the subscription box. So
yeah, definitely. Even if I think that probably 5 years ago was a little bit too early for our country, because it wasn't culturally ready. I really love the idea of the boxes. So I'm sure that in the future I will find a way to work again with this concept of putting some products together in a box. Let's see.
Totally. I also really like the concept is so cool and you can get so creative and yeah, it's really nice. And that's interesting that you say maybe 5 years ago it was too early because, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but as a business developer, very often I found myself in the position of being too early for the market because our job is to find opportunities, right? So sometimes we see something so cool from another market and we're like, oh, come on, that's the future. But people are not ready for it. So it's frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, actually, in the last years, I've spent a huge part of my time trying to help companies to understand what does innovation mean. So I think that probably a huge part of our job as business developer is helping to reduce the cultural digital gap between tech leaders and small and medium enterprises. Also because in Italy, we have like the 95% of small and medium enterprises. Yeah. And of course, if the companies are small, there is a huge lack of knowledge and competencies. And my role is also to help these kind of companies to innovate through the technology.
Awesome. And well, actually, we know that you have one specific company that you're trying to help get more digital. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So basically, as a side project, I'm trying to help my family local business to get more digitalized. And I actually, I'm working with them in the last 3 years, kind of. And just to let you know, we are talking about a small shop that is based in a little countryside of 10,000 people. So it's really in a small place. And it's a home furnishing shop. Actually, it's going well. It's always growing the business. But at the same time, my family is really struggling trying to work because they are spending like 12 hours per day always working, and it is really too much. I think it's not sustainable in the long time. So my initial goal was helping them to reduce their work, giving more value of what they are doing or selling. But we are still working on it. The main goals that we reached together that I can share with you right now is that we launched our own brand of home furnishing stuffs. Such as cover tables or things for the home, by the way. So we launched our own brand. That, of course, was really challenging, not because of the process, but was really challenging. Try to let my family understand how it's valuable to have their own brand. And after that, we launched our own e-commerce. We also started to sell some of the product in some marketplaces, and we introduced a CRM and a fidelization card, a fidelity card. So step by step, we are trying to give the customers what they expect, because every day, everyone, we use WhatsApp, we read emails, so we cannot expect that they don't want to stay in contact with a small shop with the same tools. So world is going on, and also the small shops have to do it.
Absolutely. And now with COVID, probably that's kind of gave a boost, no? At least that's the impression I have now, living in the Netherlands for many years. Here, everything is much more advanced technologically speaking. But now, every time I call back my family in Italy, they come up with some stuff which I never heard before, like food delivery. Food delivery was just in some big cities before. Now it's in my small village. So definitely there is an opportunity there.
Yeah, but actually the digital world gives a lot of opportunities. The problem is always cultural. Here in Italy, in the last years, a lot of small shops have started to understand how many opportunities they could have through the online channels, but they don't realize how challenging, how difficult it is to, for example, start an e-commerce. They think that it's only putting online your product. They don't know that you also have to make your e-commerce be reached by the users. So they don't know how difficult is all the ecosystems. So maybe they are starting now to understand the benefits, but they don't really know the
still a long way, huh?
Yes. And one other problem that I saw during this last year was that a lot of marketers or professionals that should have helped these people that doesn't really know anything about digital world actually try to sell without really help them. Sometimes it's not necessary to develop an e-commerce. Sometimes this small shop should just upload their Google business page, or start communicating through WhatsApp, or just starting to collect the information of their customers. This should be a good starting point, I think.
Totally. Yeah. And I see where you come from, because indeed, I think, probably also the marketers that were trying to help them, they were not that experienced because indeed it's more like consulting. And I think at this stage, especially in Italy, it's more about educating the market and the small shop owners into, embracing the digital world, because I mean, it does help them. It just opens up a completely new market for them. So it's just, it would be stupid not to take it. But then on the other hand, well, we do come from a country which is a bit more traditional on these things. And actually this brings us a little bit to the next question, which is like, how does BD look like in Italy at the moment? So tell us more about that.
Okay, so actually in the last years, I've seen new jobs comes up. For example, a lot of people started to not be so confused when I presented myself as a business developer. Even if when I present myself as a business developer, I always try to explain what does it mean. Because actually I'm already working in a not so easy to understand field, so the tech world. So if I add another complexity about my job, it's really impossible to understand. By the way, my friends are still confused about my role.
I remember that the first time we talked before you took the course, you told me, look, my friends make fun of me because they don't understand what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, I'm still trying to understand. I think I will reach a level of, awareness only when my mom will understand what I do. My mom is the standard.
Yeah, but now I found my the right sentence to say to explain what I'm doing. So I'm Martina. I'm a business developer. I'm working to create a value for my company in the medium long time, collaborating both with the client but also with my marketing, production, and whatever department inside my company. So that's it.
Awesome. So everyone listening, if you're struggling to define your job, I think this is the perfect description. So go ahead and steal it. And of course, as we were saying, maybe the digital world is still a bit, is speaking up in Italy. I would say speaking up. I wouldn't say it's still as slow as before. But what do you find the most challenging in your job at the moment?
So actually, in the moment, I think it's because of these pandemic period. To me, it's really challenging to find a way to talk with the companies. So I'm really struggling to understand how to get their attention. So probably they are super worried about the situation. They have so many things in their mind that talking about technological innovation that could help their company, it's really challenging. Also because I'm not selling any ready product. I'm selling a project. So it's basically a research and development project. And this is probably the most challenging part. Being able to start a conversation with an enterprise, and after that, really starting the project. So actually, in the last months, I've seen so many curious companies about developing a mobile app, a digital platform, about also the immersive technology, so virtual reality and augmented reality. So a lot of time spent in trying to solve that famous digital gap, cultural digital gap. But at the end, when it's time to really invest to push the innovation, it's a bit difficult right now.
Nice, but yeah, that's I could say that a bit everywhere. Luckily, so we're not alone. But a bit everywhere, we're feeling the same struggle this year. Although, of course, many industries kind of thrived as well. But of course, yeah. every time there is a big challenge, then there is also another more positive aspect that always happens, or element, which is creativity.
Yes.
I firmly believe, that we should always put ourselves in very uncomfortable situations, because that's really where we can get the most creative. And I know that you did that. So tell us, what's the most creative thing that you did in, let's say the last 6 months for your job?
Actually, I think that business development, as a lot of other things in our professional life, is just testing and validating. So I'm always trying to find a way, even if it's difficult. And since October, I guess, or November, I also tried a kind of digital app tool. So that it's called Bumble. So
famous Bumble.
Yeah. I mean, in Italy, it's not so famous. That is probably one of the reasons, because it's not going so well, my experiment. But still, actually, a few years ago, I was working with my ex-boss, and he was really able to find prospects through Tinder. And I was like, then I should be able to do the same. How it is possible? So I found out that this new Bumble Biz. So for who doesn't know, Bumble is a dating app who was founded by an ex-Tinder co-founder. And there are 3 different modes of this Bumble. So you can use it as a normal dating app. You can use it to find a best friend, or you can use it for business purposes. So I downloaded or choose to use Bumble for networking, and actually it worked. I started some really interesting conversation with few people. The main problem is that in Italy it's not so used. So since I can search other contacts all around me from 200 kilometers, I don't have too many choices. So the most part of the time, I finish all the swipes in like 30 seconds. Okay. But by the way, I had maybe two interesting calls about working things. So let's see.
That's good. I mean, 2 for an app that is not widely used in Italy, I think it's a good start. Maybe you can try again with Tinder. Who knows?
yeah. I'm considering to try it for business purpose, but I'm not sure the other users will be so business oriented as me.
Yeah, that's true. That's always the risk with the dating apps, totally. But yeah, that's so cool. And I think, of course, because you work for a software development house eventually, so you're always in touch with many different products. So definitely, it makes it easier for you to get into these techie products. But of course, as a business developer, it also means that in your job, you also talk to a lot of product developers, probably maybe engineers and so on. For my experience, I found it always a little bit challenging. Sometimes it feels like we come from 2 different worlds. So do you have some tips, on how to manage the relation with them, and how does really this dynamic work, BD and product developers and so on?
But actually, first of all, because of my previous experiences, so in my last company, I was both business developer and both project manager. So the connection with the developers was even stronger. And for this reason, I had the chance to know them even better. At the beginning, it took me like 6 months to start to be comfortable to have a conversation with them. You just need to be very confident with them, just trying to understand their personal interests. We all should use like the lunch break, trying to start some conversation with them. I know that can seems really useless, but actually, when you build a connection with the developers, also the work relationship becomes better. Yeah, just try to be a little bit more confident with them and not only talk about work. I know that it's strange to believe, but they also have a personal life.
It's funny you said that indeed.
The fact that their personal life probably is totally different from ours, this doesn't mean that it's not valuable. So we should feel them very important.
Nice. Yeah, that's very interesting because, well, for my experience, so I worked in companies where the developers were really considered almost as, like unreachable. So you were almost not allowed to talk to them because they had to focus on work and so on. But indeed, my approach as a business developer was always like, hey, you're Russian. I want to learn Russian. Can you teach me over lunch break? And then eventually we became friends. They all liked me. So that was nice. So I guess probably we just need to be curious and just like with our customers or partners and so on. So that's nice.
I always try to separate professional life from personal life, but we are all people. So it's normal that if you find funny or you feel comfortable with a person in your extra time, you feel more comfortable also during the work time.
Awesome. And Martina, to go more on the personal side of things, just because we're curious. So, of course, we both of us are Italian. So I feel we play at home today. I like that. And I don't know you, but I'm a huge advocate of, visiting Italy and just, experiencing the Italian experience. Besides, the BD School is a very diverse community. We had literally readers from every side of the world. And I think it's nice to also show all the, particularities of every country. So if you had to promote Italy to all our audience, what do you think is the best thing that, the best reason why they should come to visit Italy whenever it's possible?
So first of all, guys, I don't really know where are we from, but the food in Italy is literally amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from the north of Italy, so I'm based close to Venice, actually. But you can find specialty in every places. So it's really, you cannot believe it until you try it. And I'm sure that Lucia, because she is an expat, she really miss the food.
I do. And that's why I do miss it a lot. Like we do have some small shops here, but it's not the same. It's really not the same. That's not like mom's food.
Okay, not my case because my mom doesn't cook really well. I mean, she cooks, but she is always working. So my dad does.
Oh, that's good. There are a few dishes that my father does make better than my mom. So they are valid chefs in Italy.
But actually, one other thing that I'm sure that everyone could appreciate about our country is that there is a mix of possibilities. We have Dolomites and mountains. We have countrysides. We have the seaside that is really amazing in the south of Italy. We have the highlands. So you can find what you really like the most. And we also have the lakes. So actually the tourism in the lakes is really well known from Germany and other Central European countries.
Nice. That's really cool. And so, Martina, as a last question, so of course you like to keep busy with many different projects, but there is one in particular that I'm really proud of, and I'm proud that you're part of it, which is the mentorship program. I know that you already had some mentees, so we're really curious to hear your experience with that. And how is it being a business development mentor?
Actually, it's something totally new for me because in my life, I always tried to find a kind of mentors But actually, I have some, but not officially. So there are some people I normally call or I talk with if I have some professional struggle. Actually, yes, I already have 2 mentees. We just had our first call, and I really like the idea to help them, but at the same time, they are helping me to structure my ideas and to find a process to help them. That is not easy, to me at least. So I'm trying to use some digital tools such as Miro, trying to visualize their needs and their growth journey. And probably I will use the same tools also for me, for my personal and professional growth. But also at the same time, they are super enthusiastic person. So in particular, one of them, and I'm sure he already sent me a lot of useful links, and so I'm sure it will be very very interesting for both of us. And moreover, the network of mentors is really cool. I have already someone to talk with, because it's the first time I'm doing mentorship, so I'm always afraid to not be enough for the mentee. I really want to help them, and it's really useful to have a community of mentors to talk with about these opportunities.
Absolutely. And I think I said it probably on all the episodes, but the thing I'm most grateful for at BD School is really the network of people I met. Like, well, we talked so many times over this year that we met, and I really I made friends, which is really cool. And it's so amazing to find people that are like-minded and share the same passion as you, and they want to grow. And that's why the mentorship was really something that, we pushed a lot, because we do see so much value just in connecting people together. So we're super happy to have you on board as a mentor, as a student, as a friend. So thank you so much, Martina, for this conversation. Everyone, we're going to make sure that you can connect with her as well. We're going to put all the links to the mentorship below. Definitely find yourself a mentor. They can really help you grow. Thank you so much, Martina, and see you soon for the next episode, everyone.